So, what I'm going to tell you is what I learned by living this week. But you kind of said you were going through anxiety yourself, right? I was in mental agony because for me, if I don't have my answer, I agonize because not knowing what the right thing to do is like very painful for me. And you are coming from a place where financially you're stressed, you said, right? So I was in the same place in India. Once upon a time, my father was so poor. I hated poverty. I hated it. I just couldn't tolerate the idea of like not be able to do what I want. It felt so constraining. Life sucks when life is like that. But after leaving India, I went through. I left India in '93. You know, I had my whole life ahead of me, and I was well settled in India. I was earning money, and for some reason, I couldn't accept that space God gave me. So I came all the way to America, and then I earned the biggest possible salary I could have. And I got married to a guy. The first day after marriage, this is what I heard. See, the thing is, what I project is more of a problem than problem itself, I feel. The next day, I was in my residency. I was going through surgical residency. I was pregnant by then. And my husband was asking, hey, how much you need per week to spend? So I said, I usually eat a dollar menu and I drink a coffee, right? Yeah. So I said, maybe $50 a week. That's all I could think of spending. Yeah. So he tells me, $200 of what you make is yours, rest is mine. And I really was in a total shock. I was shocked because I never thought this would happen to me. Here I was, my mom said, grow up, you need to reach the highest thing and you make the biggest money. You never need to worry. And here I am, stuck in a situation total opposite of India, where it's material poverty to emotional poverty. And that's the first day it hit me what I did. And I was sobbing in VA hospital. The security guard came and told me, this is your boyfriend abusing you. I felt like saying, yes, go arrest him. But you know what? I told myself, I'm going to give him so much money, he'll never be hungry again. Yeah. But you know what I found was the more you give, the more they want. Yeah. There is no satisfying because the hunger is not about money. Same thing in India, it's not about poverty. In India, it's about behaviors, which I don't think they even understand there's a problem. In America, the poverty is about love. They don't even understand it's about love. So we're doing it the other way around. But it's so amazing. Um, I go through a lot with, for some reason, God puts me smack in the middle again and again with people who I have walked that walk, but I have to force myself to explain myself again and again. And it goes back to that pit I put myself in. And I went for my spiritual workshop to India in December. I went, right? Before that, in 2014, I raised my kids. Like, meaning, I shouldn't say I raised my kids. They're still in school. One of my sons, for Mother's Day, he told me, Mom, I will visit Dad. After I leave, I will never visit you again. I felt so hurt. And it's because they don't understand what I have given up to be in their life. And it shocked me. And that's the first day I felt what it is to be American, to be totally depressed because you leave everything in plate for you, for your family. And they throw it right back at your face and say, you are nothing to me. And I hit my bottom again. So I had to go back to India to figure out how to be nobody. So then I went to India, and interestingly, they call the god of time, Lord of Time, as Kala Bhairava, meaning like he's the Lord of Time. Kala means Lord, Bhairav means he's the holder of our inner being. Or so Kalabhairav. He's the soul keeper, so to speak. And he has a thread. He puts us back with a thread. And all the internal organs are inside. And he is the gatekeeper. So I found him and I brought him here and I trademarked. And I decided I'm going to be an American nobody. So I went and I registered the prayer threads. And I said, I'm going to call it prayer threads. And I want to trademark. And I said, I'm going to register my business. Nobody's business to us. I became American nobody. But now I can sell any thread for $1, right? Like, which is similar to what I did. But why I'm bringing it back is I hit my rock bottom again in 2014. So I brought myself back and I find it is not emotional poverty. It is not material poverty. It is about our inner space we hold. I don't think I'm a reflection of what people see in me. So one thing I can give you with all my wisdom of what I have journeyed is don't ever stress about money for the car because it's not worth it. Your baby is more important, your wife is more important. Money comes and goes, money is nothing. Same thing about emotional poverty here, about love. It's not whether others love you, it's about you loving you. Enough to stay clean, doing the very best you could. Because I want, when God comes to visit me, Him look me in the eye. You say, oh, you're just my reflection. I'm so proud I made you, And I want Him to blow His finger, say, very nice culture I got here. So that's what I say. And I really feel I never need to have left India. How stupid I was. And that's exactly the place I reached last year. And I knew for sure I never need to run again. Because me and my husband, we went to South Carolina, Hilton Head, and we had left. I think the way I hear people is different than what they are saying. That's what I find very interesting. It's not what they are saying, it's how I perceive what they are saying. So what he was saying was, he said he would build us so that we will retire better. But I was not in a space because I wanted to be equal decision maker. But he didn't understand how to trust me, and I didn't understand how to trust him. So we had huge financial issues and stuff. And then afterwards, when I became really able to listen to him from a space of love, I never doubted him because one day I looked him in the eye. When I got married, I had $8,000 in debt. So I blamed him one day. I said, "You married me for my money," and he says, "For the one you never had."
Yeah, right.
So then afterwards, I was asking him, "Hey, why did you marry me?" I know I married you because I wanted to stay in this country.
Yeah.
Let me be honest. So he said, that was the right thing to do. He said, I wanted to marry you because I want to honor you. And I felt, how dare I not love him when God loves him so much? I see his soul. And I said, how stupid me, judging him. So that's when I really fell in love with him after 13 years of my marriage. Can you believe it?
Wow.
By the time we had all our kids. But I think, one thing I can give you with all my insight is don't worry about the stupid car. You don't need the car. Don't worry about anything else being except the father you need to be for your child, the husband you need to be for your wife. But I really want you to try hard, not to go to that space where you make yourself sad. Okay. What creates sadness in you?
Just being hard on myself, feeling like I should be further, feeling like I should have more money or more, my own house by now, and all that stuff.
One thing I can tell you is the space you create inside never leaves you. Even if you have money now, you're not going to be happy because happiness is separate from money. So be silly and happy. Don't worry about money. Red box costs you $1, right? Go watch a movie with your wife, have fun. Sometimes I'll just go by myself to a restaurant and I'll just enjoy the dinner. Because sometimes just creating my own space where I enjoy my own company, my own thinking. Sometimes when I'm seeing a lot of patients, I'll just go sit in the bathroom for a few minutes. Because creating your own space, like, just sitting and doing nothing is even more precious. I really never, ever, ever want you to go to that space where you need to be better than who you are. The reason you are that way is your father a perfectionist? Like, is he very hard on you?
My both my parents are perfectionists, and like, yeah, they're hard.
Because what I have noticed is I was raised twice. My father never had rules, and he totally gave me everything possible, like love. And he was very poor. So I'm a poor man's daughter, but I never felt I needed to do anything more to earn my father's love. My husband raised me to be a perfectionist, and that made me very compulsive. So when you have a parents who are very bent on perfection, you become overachiever because that's how you show them that you love them. But again, like, they do that because they see a potential in you, but you give yourself time. So one of the thing I do is I go through a phase where instead of doing chronological time, I do project time. Hey, this is the project I'm working on, and I'll give myself as much time as possible to grow it. And this is the downtime. So that time I'll just, like, eat, sleep, do nothing. So give yourself project time. So what is the next project you're working on?
Oh, yeah.
Think of it that way. Then it wouldn't stress you. I was late for my marriage by half hour.
Yeah, that's right.
My husband thought I stood him up. But that's because time, I never wear watch. I used to work in Northeastern University, and this guy was in Vietnam War. He said when he came back, he really wanted to be with the birds. He will wake up when the birds wake up. He'll go to bed when the birds go to bed. And he says he went and lived in the woods because he couldn't take the human way of living. And through him, one thing I learned is I never need to wear a watch. I'm not going by another person's time. I'm going by my time. And if by chance people are too busy running around, I usually always tell people always will stop me, even in the hospital. They say, "Can you give me a minute?" I said, "Of course." I said, "My time pauses the minute people ask for my time." That's why when I close this door, I don't care how many people are waiting.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want you to leave my office knowing you were heard. And the same thing I can tell you. Pause your life for people you love and don't worry about society time because society always in a rush to get nowhere. This is what I found. They'll always be in a rush. My son, right, he'll like be running around, like, getting to the school. And then he'll call me, "Mom, I left my clarinet at home. Can you bring it over?" People always lose things that they need the most or the thing they're rushing for. I feel it's all stupid time. Don't worry. And the duality of how they use. Did you see that guy downstairs? He has a board that says "Stupid Genius Production." I feel we twist our words and stuff. So I hope you feel better. Do you? Okay, that's good.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, and like, think of it like your moment. What it be one thing you can do. Maybe next week we can discuss. Did you watch the Alice in Wonderland? Your Chronosphere?
No.
Did it? Yeah. So did you understand our assignment last week?
No.
Remember the Alice in Looking Glass? She gets a chronosphere. Her whole world rusts over.
Yeah.
And you need to figure out what is the one thing that will spark hope in your life. So would you watch that this week?
I'll watch it.
And I want you to tell me what is one thing that will make you feel your life hope is restored. Okay, that's your assignment this week.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Do you want me to play? Oh, wait, let me